Welcome to Linux Saloon, a place to discuss tech, open source, and where Linux is always on tap. Each show we'll have a talk about a Linux project, such as a distribution, desktop environment, or application. We also chat about the news or any variety of topics from the community. Anything that is Linux, tech, and open source related is on the table for discussion. I'm Nate, and with me I got a fantastic group of people, and even a new face. Jesse, Ben, Seeker, Jason, the Starbuck, Jinda, and Sean. How is everybody?
Excellent.
Good.
Great.
Doing great.
All right. So when I started streaming, the numbers were good, and then it started kind of dropping off. It looks like I'm hovering around 31 kilobits per second. Oh, just dropped down to 26 and gone red. So I don't know if it's going to be stuttery all night. I don't know what to do. My service is not as good as it once was. I guess that's what it boils down to.
Shell of itself, if you will.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe it's the Zoom. Maybe the new Zoom takes it to more bandwidth now, and that's part of the problem. I don't know. So anyway, be sure to do the straw poll if you have not done so. If you could knock that out, that'd be pretty cool. And on doc for today, we got a. I forgot to update some of this stuff. We've got it's an open mic night, so anything that is Linux tech or whatever related, open source related, feel free to chime in. I've got a few topics I've already kind of sort of figured, and we can go from there. But first, we're also going to do a community free pour, where once again we're going to talk to Ben and his fantastic StormOS project. I did not bring an umbrella, so don't be too rough.
Very good one, Nate.
Well, I thought, I'd go total dad joke on that one. Yeah. Anyway, and but first we're doing Linux and tech. So I know Jesse, I understand he is into music based on a guitar that flashed up on the screen here in the pre-show. So I was going to talk about some of my new adventures, and maybe just maybe Jesse can point me in the right direction, because I need lots of direction in life, I think. So what I've been doing is I've been playing with MIDI. Now, MIDI is a very old standard of doing all kinds of fun things, and so I've never actually really played with it. I've always thought it was really fascinating. It had a DIN connector on the back of a lot of these old keyboards, and I have my brother who he's off in Eastern Europe, being a missionary now. But I have his old Korg N364. Not sure if you know what that is, but it's an old 1990s keyboard, like piano keyboard type thing. And I used to do a lot with music in my youth, and I kind of fell away in the early 2000s because of a career I chose, and just wasn't time for it, and a lot of things changing and moving. And I decided recently to kind of sort of get back into, playing. I will never perform, but it's kind of a fun release to just, noodle around on a piano or a tin whistle. I know it seems silly, but I like playing the tin whistle. I know it's a child's instrument, but there is a really fun song that I like to play. It's called The Inner Light. It's from Star Trek: The Next Generation. You can look that up sometime. It's a great tin whistle tune. And anyway, that being said, I'm trying to understand how to interface MIDI and Linux. So I got a little device so I can plug them in, like a MIDI to USB thing, so I can plug in the in and out from the keyboard over to the machine. I'm using something called Q Tractor, just because it's just one I tried. It looked like it was simpler than LMMS. I guess LMMS. And then using Hydrogen as the MIDI sounds. I probably haven't done something right yet, but what I can do is I can actually play something and record it, get all the different little, things on the screen. But then when I want to listen back, I just can't, it doesn't make any sound. So that's kind of where I'm stuck right now. But yeah, so I want to play, I just want to be able to, make things if I want, like maybe remix my little Cubicle Night tune, Pixelland, that I use when I do videos and such. So anyway, that's what I've been working on. It's kind of fun to play around with. Don't know what I'm doing yet. Read some stuff. I feel like there's a lot of knowledge gaps, like there's things I should know. But I did finally understand now, like what the the in, the out, and the through do on those DIN connectors. All I really need is in and out at this point. And I think through. So if I'm plugging in something like chaining these things together, that's where I use the through to go out to something else.
Effects processors, things like that. MIDI sequencers. There's lots of things where you can use the through, but it doesn't sound like you're anywhere near where you're going to need that yet.
No, absolutely not. And then the other thing I did purchase on eBay, I've been watching them for a while, and one came to be pretty inexpensive, is it's like an Akai MPK Mini, something like that. It's a neat little device.
There's a device, and I can't remember what it does.
It's just a keyboard. It has like drum pads on it too. And anyway, so it's something I picked. I just won the auction. I was like out of like $46. So
that's awesome. So it's a little like around this kind of size, but with drum pads.
Yeah, pretty much. Just a tiny little thing, and can sit right here on the desk next to me if I want to, and if I want to noodle around with that, rather than bring the giant Korg in here, I can just kind of noodle around with that. And anyway, and I also got a piano course as well, so I can learn to properly play the piano. I mean, I can do like right hand or left hand. I can't do right and left hand together doing different things. It's just not possible. So I got to probably subject myself to an actual program at this point to be able to do that successfully. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm kind of like adding another hobby. I'm rolling another hobby into Linux, which is I think a lot of fun, and we'll just see where it goes from there.
Yeah. Can I ask what distro you're currently using the most, where the keyboard's going to be involved?
I'm using OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. That's my jam. I use it for pretty much everything.
Okay.
Oh yes. So Zoe Ronan, he actually says makes a very good point. He says, so you can add a soundtrack to your dad jokes with the drum pad. Yes, he nailed it.
The wah 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 sound.
Good old tis.
Wasn't that called? No, that's the Wayland scream. Oh man, I don't know that. Sorry, off topic.
So one thing I'd recommend,
Yes.
especially somebody who is new to using Linux and multimedia together, is you definitely want to be on something Pipewire and not
Done.
Pulse.
because Pipewire helps so much with the routing, as I'm sure you've learned already.
Yeah.
Yes.
It even takes care of jack, and if you can use a Pipewire and jack combination, your latency will be as low as it can be while still being easy to manage your routing.
Right. And that appears to be the latency. If there's a latency, I can't perceive it, which that's a big part of latency is how much can you actually perceive. So
right. If you're under, most people would consider somewhere between 0 to 10 acceptable. Playing guitar, I notice it a little bit more than you may on a digital keyboard because there's an analog component to it too. I try to shoot for 5 or less milliseconds of latency, and it's definitely easy to do on modern hardware.
Yeah. Well, 5 milliseconds. And can you even blink in that speed?
I haven't thought about it. But because I'm using stacks of effects and stuff on my guitars, it's very, very easy to wind up in 10, 20 milliseconds if I'm not paying attention.
Right. Makes sense.
And that's enough where you're hearing a noticeable delay, and it's very, very hard to play along to something with that kind of latency.
Right. Right.
Have you tried
total sense. What's that?
Have you tried Ardor? Have you tried Reaper? You're going to want, your DAW program, but you're using Qtractor?
Yeah, that's what I'm using right now.
Okay.
I have Ardor installed, but I haven't really played with it yet. I'm kind of going down the list of things. That probably has everything all built into it, doesn't it? As far as
it's Ardor's pretty feature complete as far as a DAW goes. And are we allowed to name drop other creators? Because
yeah, I don't care. This is an open mic night. You can pretty much say whatever you want.
Sure. Have you come across any of spelled UNFA, Unfa.
No. I
He
have
is
not.
a musician and he does like step by step. Here's how to set up Linux for multimedia. He is somebody that I would refer you to because it's such a large topic. We could spend so much time on it, and I think that you'd get more from looking at some of his content that we can cover tonight.
Well, yeah, I think yeah, if you have a link that you can share, either like probably in the Zoom chat.
Yeah, sure, I can do that afterwards. I'll send you some of his stuff.
So Sean says I should check out NixOS. Then is that what you're saying? Says well there is. Oh no, you're replying back to Zoe Ronan.
Oh, if you want to try out NixOS, go for it. I think it's great.
I'm sure you do. I think I'm too lazy.
Yeah,
You're just set in your ways. That's okay.
That could be it too. I like what I like. Not that it's the I don't claim it's the best or anything. I just claim it's what I like best.
Yeah, you claim it's best for you.
Yeah, just kind of whatever seems to work. Well, very cool. Jesse, I'm really glad you were able to kind of do some guiding here. I'm going to check out Ardour again. Maybe that has better, like I said, more feature complete tools, and that might work better for what I'm trying to accomplish. So might have like the MIDI sounds and such built into it and so forth.
I don't recall, and mostly my focus is on guitar right now, so I really can't speak to setting up keyboards these days.
Understandable. Understandable. Oh, and Rudy's Retro Intel says, hello, everyone. Hello, Rudy.
Hey, Rudy.
Already.
Another member of
Rudy.
the Vintage Mac group.
Yeah. So, and I think Rudy should know that I'll be getting a Mac here pretty soon. So next week. Anyway, Swift, welcome. Nice to have you. Hope all is well in your part of the world. Whenever you get unmuted, I guess.
Oh, there, now he can hear you. Headset's on.
He's turning on the headset now. It's good times.
Catch stars. Catch stars.
All right, so I think we'll go ahead and move on to the straw poll. So if you have not yet done the straw poll, go ahead and knock that out. I am going to I'm going to go ahead and read the replies that we got so far, and then go and get the results here. But some of the replies says if it had been in the last year, I could say, I'm sorry, let me back up here. Select all of the following older audio technologies that you have used within the past 2 months. Okay, are you okay, Jason?
Yep.
Okay, I thought maybe like I was coming in all like broken and stupid or something like that.
No. Hey, cat. Okay, what is the cat butt? Come on.
So what technologies you've used in the past, older technologies, audio technologies you've used in the past 2 months. So here's some of the replies. So if it had been in the last year, I could say corded headphones, mini disc player, and vinyl. But I don't think I've used any of it in the last 2 months. Another reply. I can't get any wireless headphones to work consistently with Teams. Corded never seems to have the same issues, so I use them a lot. That's interesting. I've had also issues with I should say I've had issues with audio devices and Teams. It doesn't matter if it's corded or wireless. And I don't know if it's a Linux issue because it's other people that using Windows too that has have that problem since I use Linux at work. In other words, the only time I use FM radio is when I'm using my Bluetooth car radio. Oh, Bluetooth car radio adapter to let me play my jams off the phone. Other than that, I've used CDs and headphones. I've used 8 tracks in the last 2 months. That was a fluke and not intended, so I can't count it. It was T for the Tillerman by Cat Stevens I found, and the 8-track player while cleaning. That's not really a fluke. If you've used it, you've used it. My opinion. Says if it had been the last year, I could say corded headphones, mini disc player. Oh, that's a repeat. And then Eris, who I miss desperately, he said, I sort of wanted a used recently, but with some leeway. So I felt 2 months hits the spot. Basically, technology used, but it doesn't have to be every day. So what about the folks here? What would you say? Any older audio technology you've used? No, Swift
Yeah,
still can't hear me.
The cordless headphone. That's it. You know,
A wired headphone, you mean?
wired. Yeah, I don't use Yeah, that's what wired headphones. I don't like the cordless ones because I have them to listen to like music on from my iPad or something like that if I'm sitting upstairs or whatever, or outside or whatever the case may be. But other than that, if day-to-day use, like if I'm joining these type of things or whatever, there's gotta have a cord.
I got you.
Well, about the headphones that I have, they'll work either with Bluetooth or with the cord. I just don't ever use the cord. So it works and it does, it's there, but I don't really use it. Oh, cool glasses.
Thank you.
Wow.
So I think
Mhm.
let me look at the results here on this. I voted, but I can't remember what I voted for. So it looks like
I know Jenda's using the cord.
Yep.
now is cord really older technology? You can still buy it.
No, it's not. That's why I was wondering about that. I mean, brand new headsets and headphones and all that kind of stuff still come corded. So
So here's
What
what
about XLR? Anybody else still using that? I use XLR stuff on the daily.
I think XLR is kind of you can't replace it with what? What would you replace XLR with? I mean, there's
USB Type-C, maybe.
Yeah, but you can't do stage runs.
But it's limited to PC if you do it that way.
Right.
I don't think XLR counts as old yet.
No, it's still actively being used and developed, and not developed, but like it's still used and people are manufacturing against it. So
and by that I mean, going back to your MIDI stuff earlier, it's an old standard, but it's still actively used.
Right. And I also understand that you can use MIDI as as input devices on a computer as well. That there's ways you can actually have like assign macros and such to it. I have no idea how to do that, but once I get that Akai MPK Pro, whatever it's called, thing, I want to see if it assign those like drum pads to do different things, just for fun.
One cool thing that you can really go nuts on that kind of thing with, there are MIDI floor controllers, and especially for somebody doing like a live stream, you can set those foot buttons to do things like start your stream, stop your stream, and then you really get to have fun with it.
Oh, that's a good point. I don't think I wouldn't call myself like a professional when it comes to these things, so I don't know that that would.
Rudy in the chat asked, does the 80s modem count?
Yeah,
I think it counts, but I don't think it counts as an audio device.
It makes a lot of noise.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'll go ahead and go through this, and it's just a point of discussion. I mean, you can nitpick any straw poll. So in first place, wired headphones / earbuds. In second place, FM radio station. Yes, actually, I listen to FM radio all the time. And then if I'm ever going to listen to a baseball game, it has to be AM radio, like listen to Chicago Cubs AM radio.
Who
you cannot listen
to a
to
baseball game?
It's the only way to enjoy a baseball game. It's either there at the field or listening to it on the radio. There's no.
See, I just turn on I put the live stream on there and turn off the audio.
No.
I watch a baseball game.
I only listen to baseball games because I like a good announcer, and it's got to be through that. I don't know how you describe the AM radio sound, but where the limited frequencies and such.
Yeah,
there's something
the
about
different.
There's something about baseball. Like I think if they broadcast baseball on regular TV, if it's high definition, whatever stuff, any of that nonsense, or on FM radio, they should have to go through the same filters to make it sound like it's AM radio. Otherwise, there's no point. That's just what I feel like. Yeah, so you listen to like WGN out of Chicago.
Condenser microphone will get you there.
Yeah. It's like an AM radio filter on like the Pulse Effects or Easy Effects, as it's called now. There should be. Anyway, so second place was FM radio. Third place was compact disc. Fourth was AM radio station, which I think is pretty cool. In fifth place, none of the above. Sixth, a corded phone. That's pretty cool. I don't even have one. Actually, I probably have one in storage someplace, but I don't even have a line. I kind of want to get one, or maybe a fax line. Would that be silly?
Yeah, the last phone line I had was the VoIP. It's been so long since I had a corded one.
Vinyl/phonograph record. That would be cool. Audio cassette tape. Ham radio. But ham radio is not old, is it? I feel like that's a bit of a slight. I mean, it's an old technology,
a few
but it's
years
still.
old.
It's old, yeah, but it's still in use. Like truckers use it and stuff.
Well, they use
I
CDs.
think that's CB you're thinking.
Yeah. Sirius XM. Satellite. We're calling satellite radio now old, I guess. 8-track cartridge. These are all. I should say. So audio cassette, ham radio, Sirius XM, 8-track, and mini disc are all tied for last place. So and other as well. But anyway. So there we go. So 7th place was vinyl, and then tied for 8th is everything else. Oh no, I'm sorry, I screwed up. 8th is audio cassette, ham radio, and Sirius, and then 9th place would be tied of 8-track and mini disc. And other. So anyway, good times. No Tux Penguin in that one.
Aw, that's my favorite.
Yeah. So I still buy CDs. Does anybody here still buy CDs?
No.
Not very often, but it's got to be
I
like an artist that I like, and then I'll buy the CD.
Yeah.
I hardly ever buy music anymore. I guess I technically buy it because I buy I pay for YouTube, so I don't
Okay.
get the ads and stuff. So I have YouTube Music. So I listen to 99.9% of my music through the YouTube Music. I throw in like a YouTube radio and just let it do its thing. So I mean, that's the way I digest music most cases nowadays.
So I'm looking for the number where I saw this, but when it comes to vinyl records, apparently the sales of vinyl records have gone up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking for somewhere I saw.
Well, there's a
So
lot of stuff that there's also collector type things too with vinyl records.
But like new production though, that people are making, they're pressing records again, and it's split 50-50 male female. I'm looking for here. So primarily rock is like number 1, but like in so the purchasing of CDs are trending downward. The purchasing of vinyl LPs is trending upward, at least as of 2021. So I'll put that.
Blame
article.
hipsters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess, yeah, we can do that. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. I'm gonna put that there. Does anybody here have a record player or phonograph or whatever you want to call it?
Like, I had like 4 of them when I was younger, but I got rid of all of them. No,
I have some old Transformers records, like from when I was a kid. I don't have a record player. I don't know if they're like the smaller ones. I don't even know what.
Sure, you're not talking about the Laserdisc or?
No, these are records.
Oh, that's old.
Like, yeah. You listen to
the Transformers soundtracks.
They're stories. No, they're stories. Like I think yeah, it's like an audio whatever of Transformers. And
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, you're not as old as I am, I think.
Probably older.
Now it's available on YouTube.
So
Transformers official.
So Leo says, of course I have a record player. I'm one of those hipsters that Sean mentioned.
And why is that hipster talking in chat, not in here?
I don't know. That's a good question. And yeah, also, Leo says audio cassettes are having a bit of a resurgence too. Oh, Rudy's retro Intel says, how about audio cassettes to load computer programs? I load Windows 11 from tape when I boot.
Commodore 64.
Oh goodness.
I'm going to go ahead and say that there's probably some exaggeration there.
Yeah, a little bit, yes, but yeah, you've witnessed what they do on those streams.
Oh. All right. Quick question.
Sure.
If we're all dating ourselves and talking about tape, Who remembers having to take a pencil and fix tapes that had kind of gone haywire? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did it.
And
Or
like
they get
rewinding
pulled out a
it.
little bit. You gotta.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or the
Yeah.
big pen.
Imagine having to do that on your Windows boot tape.
I mean, that's
Oh,
kind of
goodness.
cool, actually. I mean, all things considered, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's pretty cool.
And Rudy says he has a record and tape player with amp and external speakers.
That's pretty
Nice.
cool. Yeah, I'd like to get myself a record player. Actually, I think it'd be neat to have one of those, like, I don't know if I want an old hi-fi, but something like that. You know, to just listen to music. I can, you know, whenever I do sit and do nothing. I don't think I do that. I probably would never use it, but I think it'd be cool. Maybe someday when I'm older and I have less going on. So apparently Rudy says, how about using Slackware version 1? I don't think is the audio on that listening to a hard drive go scraping by? I don't know. But Don Lecklin says, if you're going to buy physical medium rather than just digital copy, go for something that you can display, something that looks cool. I totally agree.
Oh
And
goodness.
then Leo says, I still buy current music on vinyl. You can't beat an album art with 12-inch posters. Yeah, I agree.
Liner notes.
Yeah, it's very cool. Oh yeah, does an 80s modem count? Yeah, I think it does, sort of. Anyway, that's good times. Yeah, I think it'd be fun to get like a Bluetooth maybe record player. But I was do you know ever watch Techmoan on YouTube? He brings he has a lot of I think his big thing is record players, but any kind of like old reel-to-reel stuff or he's an audiophile. Great channel, Techmoan. Anyway, some of the record players that he's reviewed, like new record players, not built very well and actually really rough on the record. So I kind of don't want one of those. I want something that's, I don't know, that I know is of good quality, but maybe has Bluetooth capability, so I can play it on modern speakers. So maybe bypass the hi-fi thing. I don't know where I'd even put the record player though. Like I don't have space for it. I mean, I could make space, but you know what I mean. Now, Sleepy-Eyed Vince says, the young kids are into CDs now. Sales have increased for the first time in years. CDs are the new vinyl. Hello, you old farts, LOL. I think it means Linux out loud. Well, very cool. Yep.
Who are you calling the old fart?
Says, and Rudy's Retro Intel says, I collect VHSs and DVDs as I own them, not like Netflix. Yep, I totally agree. I think he hits the nail on the head there. I have a lot. I actually recently watched, I think, Star Trek 6 on VHS. Cause I went to see if I could watch it on Paramount Plus. Wasn't there, so I popped into VHS and I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. I mean, a little stretched out, but I think it was still all right.
Did it upscale or?
No. No. It's component into that TV behind me, right there. That's where I watched
just route it through VLC. It'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Probably not a bad idea. Maybe I should capture it, and then you can probably use like an AI to upconvert it or something like that, like some sort of AI something.
Something actually worth using AI for.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, although I do use AI sometimes on, like, I can ask it like tech questions, have it help me with some, like when I've run into problems.
I wonder if you can use Handbrake to rip it and up the quality of it.
No idea. I'd probably just like use OBS and screen capture it or something like that. So Rudy's Retro Intel says, yeah, I'm an old fart. And Steve's very own. So Steve could join us too if he felt like it. Says, don't let Vince fool you. Australia is just catching up to the rest of the world. So I think that was shots fired there.
Wow.
And then Don Lecklin said, yeah, I started buying DVDs again. I like the convenience of streaming, but they're editing films, black holing stuff. Yeah, that's true. Well, I think the other thing too is like, I got, I can't remember what it was, some service to watch something, and then all of a sudden it was gone, and then I'm like, well, why am I paying for the service? So I've kind of dwindled yet my service. I'm down to like 2 now. YouTube, no, 3, I guess. I do pay for YouTube Premium because most of the stuff I watch is on YouTube. You know, like independent creators.
Yeah.
And then and I'd like it rather than block the ads. You know, then I know they're going to get paid a little something. And then I like to watch Netflix because although it's been less and less, although now they have Monk on there, that's pretty fun. And then Paramount Plus, but for the Star Trek. But I think I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of lost interest in that again. So I've got all the Next Generation on DVD.
Yeah, I use the old the YouTube Premium, Disney Plus, and then I use Amazon Prime, and then we added like a few other channels to the Prime, like Paramount Plus.
Oh, okay.
You can add that to Prime.
Really?
There was and there's a couple other like History Channel type stuff that we added onto there. And that's pretty much what we spend most of our time watching, is either YouTube or like History Channel type stuff, because we're a military channel. We're nerds that way, my brother and I.
There's a YouTube channel called Ocean Liner Design. This is totally not tech. I guess it's maybe tech related, but he like goes like it really focuses on like the ocean, like the early 20th century, late 19th century ships, and pretty heavy focus on the Titanic from time to time. I think that was probably what inspired this guy.
The boat, the vessel, the ship, whatever, that gets focused on the most, especially after the implosion.
Well, maybe don't go to the bottom of the ocean in something that's controlled by a PlayStation controller, I guess. That would be my
Xbox.
To be fair, it was the Logitech controller.
Whatever it was. I was like, when I heard that, I was like, "You're teasing. You're fooling me. That's gotta be a joke."
I'm gonna go double check myself, but I think it was the Logitech F310.
That's crazy. That's still. No.
Either way,
I'm not going to the bottom ocean in anything. Nope. Or space, for that matter. I have no desire to. I'm cool right in this room.
You're not really a fan of any of that. I'll go ahead and stay where the air is plentiful.
We're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Stay where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, it was the 710. Forgive me, but it was a Logitech control submarine.
Yeah, I know.
Either way. So, I guess with that, we should probably go ahead and get on with the open mic night. I just want to kick it off with one topic here that may or may not be of interest to y'all. Is anybody here using? I don't say y'all. I'm from the north, but I like saying y'all.
How y'all doing?
Let's go with OG on us.
OG. What does that even mean?
Original, just shortened.
Somebody West Coast, help us out.
Oh god. Okay. So,
I'm from the little West Coast. I live on Lake Michigan.
I thought original, something like that. Yeah.
Anyway, so what I was going to say is Debian 12.7 rolls out with security and stability improvements. Anybody here a Debian user? I know there's MX folks here probably.
I would be, Nate, but here's my one particular gripe with Debian, and this is just the only one that I have. It's that, when we usually do our distro delves, this is one gripe that I always have. This is not to be critical of Debian, but they need better NVIDIA Optimus support, for the love of God. And I know Jesse being a fellow Optimus guy user will attest to this. Debian is not the distro to go with if that's your problem, right, Jesse?
All I can say is I don't have enough experience on pure straight Debian to make a statement here.
Yeah. Well, I have tried it, and sadly, the Monte Optimist that he and I both know works very well on Ubuntu, sadly has a hard requirement on Ubuntu drivers common and NVIDIA Prime, which are sadly not available natively to Debian. So there would just be a slew of back work you would have to do in order to get that thing to work. So, it is possible to install it, but you have to enable SID and all this and that, which would, just cause a hilarity of problems from my testing. So sadly, it's just not a good idea. If you're going to run Debian on an NVIDIA Optimus computer, it's not a good idea. But yeah, that's just my little, gripe for the evening. I wanted to point that out to you.
So what you're saying is
Hmm.
Debian's great for AMD cards. I think that's what I'm hearing.
Yes, yes.
See,
But
positive
for
spin.
NVIDIA, right,
Linux period is great for AMD cards.
right. But NVIDIA is sadly still a problem if you're on a dual graphics computer. That's just what I'm trying to tell you. So
I just want to point out because you said OG and a dark one. He said in the chat, he said OG in Nate's case, it just means old guy. So that's probably very accurate. I don't have all my gray hair in yet, but it's coming. Don't worry. My deterioration is on schedule.
yeah. But yeah, anyway, so long story short, if you're stuck in the rabbit heavens hole, or the rabbit hectic hole, keeping it, proper here, but the seventh circle of insanity, is I want to try and keep swear words out of my mouth. Basically, sorry, but yeah, keeping it, trying to keep myself in thought. Basically, Debian is not a good NVIDIA Optimist candidate. Basically, if you're in that rabbit hole, go with, something like Manjaro or Ubuntu Mate or something like that. Just my 2 cents on that.
Well, good to know. Maybe somebody else has kind of perfected it. Or I think MX has an NVIDIA build, I think.
Yeah, that's their AHS ISO.
Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah. So if you're running NVIDIA cards and you want to run Debian, just go with MX AHS. That's my suggestion.
So Francois says in the chat, I just wrote an S record dumper class for Arduino. That's pretty cool. I don't even know what that means, but that sounds pretty cool.
Good old Francois. What's up, bud?
What's up?
Another one of our my vintage Mac friends.
Yep. Yeah. And then Rudy says he's rocking 59 years here. I think I'm the oldest. Yeah. No, Rudy, you are not the oldest. We have Steve's very own. He's from Chicago. That's why I said very own, because there's Chicago's very own. Anyway, it's funny.
Yeah.
He I believe is pushing 76.
Nice.
That's a. But
I think, or is it 63? I don't know.
He'll confirm if he's still in chat.
he'll tell his age. No. I'm just trying to troll him now. He's not quite that old yet.
No, I was going to say I don't think he's quite that old. He just retired.
Yeah, he just retired. Anyway, so back to Debian. So Debian 12.7 has been released. It's received its 7th refresh, bringing 51 bug fixes and 55 security updates. So upgrade now.
Are they still using kernel 6.1?
I don't know. This is just an article.
I'll take a look at it later and I'll tell you.
Okay, it looks like they are on 6.1.0-25.
Okay, well that answers that question then.
All right. So anyway, it's the latest bookworm. They primarily consist of bug fixes and security patches. For those who regularly update their systems via security.debian.org, this release won't necessitate many changes, as it already includes most of the latest security updates. However, a notable one is the inclusion of Shim 15.8, a simple software package designed to work as a first-stage bootloader on EUFI systems. This may affect users who dual boot with other operating systems, which I don't do that.
Oh, he is 68.
I do that sometimes, but very selectively.
Steve says he is 68.
Oh gosh.
So it revokes the signature of older versions of Shim present in EUFI firmware, potentially impacting the ability of those systems to boot under Secure Boot. Users affected by this can temporarily disable Secure Boot to update their systems accordingly. Among other notable upgrades is the AMD 64 microcode and Intel microcode packages. They've received important security enhancements to address recent vulnerabilities. They have updates to the Ansible and Patch 2 to ensure stronger security against any leakage and any content disclosure, respectively. In addition to security fixes, This release also polishes various other components. For instance, Calibre has been patched to prevent remote execution and cross-site scripting attacks. The systemd package also has been updated to enhance hardware compatibility, and numerous other under-the-hood adjustments have been made to increase system performance and reliability. So, if you would like to update your system, do sudo apt update, and then the $ampersand and sudo apt upgrade. Although I just tend to do them one at a time, but whatever floats your boat. So, if you are a Debian user, go ahead and make it happen, I guess, and hopefully you don't get bit by any of the secure boot issues. I don't dual boot. I just every machine is on their own at this point. Yeah.
Separate
I
hardware.
will say, Nate, I don't dual boot unless it's on an external drive or a separate internal, because I got to tell you, that's the safest way that I, DT, and many other tech guys have found that it is better to do it that way than anything else. Oh, another thing, Jason, you and I have got to have a old school Mac chat after this, please, because long
what am I, shop liver?
No, Nate. All of us can have an after show about old Macs. We can do that.
Christmas. We can have a chat about old Macs now. This is an open mic night.
All right.
Indeed.
Well, we'll go into that after the Debian.
Long live the Blueberry Mac.
Yeah, see, here's the convenient thing right now. Here's the Debian Immich Linux on an old.
All right. Well, anyway, what I'm getting at is, so I have an HP ProBook laptop sitting here, and it's probably the closest thing you're going to get to a 2011 MacBook. And here's the thing. This thing has a low, crappy 1366 by 768 screen. And my dad has tried numerous times in the past with machines of the same spec era, whatever, to get it to a high-res screen. And I am beyond sick of doing that and trying to make it into a Mac computer. So I was wondering, if you had any sort of advice on an idea about this for me. What the heavens is that?
This is a 2013 MacBook Pro.
Really?
Well, I got this from the Mac community that I'm part of.
Oh, nice,
Mac
dude.
Guys.
Well,
have they started soldering in RAM on that yet?
Have they started doing what?
Soldering, soldering and all that.
The RAM on this is soldered on, yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, Jason, what I'm trying to point out is here, I am sick and tired of having a 2011 Hackintosh kind of thing. And I was wondering if you had any sort of old school Mac advice for a laptop kind of thing for me. Because, like I said, I am an old school Mac OS lover, and I never got to experience beyond a 2012, the OG days of Mac OS. And I was wanting to see if, you had any advice on this kind of idea. So
you're trying to get like an actual Mac laptop that is dedicated to an older version of Mac OS?
Of Mac OS, yes.
Well.
Yeah, because you see, I do like the new way of the post Yosemite era, but something about the old Aqua interface is what I prefer. And I got to tell you, I actually have a restore image that my buddy Tony sent me of Snow Leopard and Leopard as well. And, I just prefer those old retired releases. I'm not, somebody who likes the new post Aqua interface.
I mean, the best thing to do is just, look at either like eBay or go to like your Facebook Marketplace and look and see if somebody.
Yeah, I'll see what I can find on there, because I got to be honest, the Hackintosh thing is fun, but after a while, it just gets unstable, and it's not.
Do your research on what versions of what laptops run what OS to see if you can find the OS.
Well,
like
I
Tiger,
did test.
Snow Leopard.
I did test. Snow Leopard on my ProBook, but it's a lot of hassle just to run an old school OS like that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like the Mac Pro over here, the one you can see back there behind the
right.
That was a 2009 Mac, and it ran.
Oh, that's like
so. This is old.
5,1, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 5. Was actually. I think it's a
4,1.
It's a 4,1 flash to 5,1. It's a dual core.
Yeah.
It's dual processor.
I actually used to have one of those, but
Xeons, dual Xeons that runs on 32 gigs of RAM.
See, mine was a single CPU.
Yeah, one of my old jobs had these in a closet. They had 10 of them in a closet. They had
And
used them
freaking
for
Mac Pros.
yeah, they used them. What they do is we did software updates and all this kind of stuff and tickets and stuff for multiple different companies.
Mm.
And one of the companies that back then was running, they did it for some sort of imaging or something. I don't know what they did with them. But needless to say, they forgot they were there, and they were redoing things around the office, like switching, groups around to different size rooms and stuff like that based on need. And they opened up a closet, and they were stacked in there. So they brought them to us because we were the IT department. We're the nerds, and said we'll sell them to you for $200. So I was like, I went through them, and I found there was two of them that were only two of them had the dual processors. So I grabbed one and then my boss grabbed one. The boss of my media department, we both grabbed one, and we took out pieces of other ones to get the better video cards and stuff like that, so that we knew what we were doing. And I sat there because it was locked down to a administrative password, so I had to go through single sign on and go through all that and get it so I can get in there. And I did that while I was at work. I just set it up in an empty cubicle, and then hooked up a monitor that was just sitting on that cubicle to it, and did it all. And then the guy that ran the system admin for our IT department, he let me take home a couple of the monitors that were just laying around because they didn't have stands or anything. They're just laying there. So I had it sitting up leaning against the cubicle. So while I was doing it. So I got, for $200, I got that and two monitors. So I wasn't complaining too bad about it. But to me, it was fun, and I still use it. It's back to that's running Fedora now, because I got sick of the old school Mac OS. I originally used the OpenCore Legacy Patcher on it, and then got it to what was it, Ventura? I think it was that I'm thinking of that I got. I can't remember, one of the newer ones. It ran fine for a while, and then when it was on a spinny drive, when I tried to do it onto a SSD, it just kept freezing and having stuttering issues and Twitch and YouTube and all this other stuff. Even though we upgraded the video card and all that stuff in there too, to a version that actually gave us a bootloader and all that. But so eventually I just said, screw it. I don't need an old version of Mac OS. I have right here, I have the Mac 2020 M1 Mac Mini. So I got a Mac. So I threw Fedora on that. This one is running Mint. And the iMac over here, which is just got done updating, is running Immich. So I've got all kinds of different Linux distros in this room. I've got Manjaro, I've got Mint, I've got Fedora, Immich, Pop OS, Kali.
You
Linux
must
on
have
my
a lot of
laptops.
distros under the sun at your disposal.
Oh, I have it. Yeah. I mean, you just look at the background. I mean,
Yeah, you've got
I got-
computers up the wazoo there, man.
I've got four laptops all running Linux.
Mm.
They're old ones. They're older. Obviously,
yeah.
everything's older. Two of them are actually, but my mother, she had them in a closet somewhere. Now she's gonna throw them away.
So
send them
you
to
know
me.
what it's like to have a vintage interest.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's one of, like, tomorrow morning. If you're free tomorrow,
I can
look
be,
up-
yeah.
Look at 11 a.m. starting at 11
I'm
a.m.
in
Eastern.
Eastern.
Yep, it is 11 a.m. Eastern. It starts at 8 a.m. Pacific, technically, because it's a gentleman's Pacific time.
Yeah.
His name is the group is called Dave's Vintage Apple Tech.
I've seen that guy.
Yes, Nate joins sometimes with us. He gets on the live
Yeah.
stream, hangs out. It's an 8-hour stream, so you can join anytime from 11 a.m. to like 6 p.m. or whatever it is.
Okay.
It's an 8-hour stream, and they do retro. If you ever have any interesting questions about vintage Macintosh and stuff, that's the group to ask.
One
You
question.
saw in the
okay.
chat there was Francois. He's part of that group.
Yeah.
You had Rudy's Retro Intel. He's part of that group. So we've
Yeah.
got migration.
One question. Do they allow vintage Hackintosh questions?
Yeah, you can ask anything you want. It's like kind of like this type of scenario where it's
Where it's an open
Dave
forum,
Vintage
yeah.
Apple Tech. So basically what happens on the stream is a lot of them do a lot of board repair. So they're replacing caps
Okay.
and
So they don't care
capacitors,
if you ask an old
capacitors and stuff.
school Hackintosh question or not. They allow any.
Yeah, you can ask any tech question. You might not, they may or may not know the exact answers. But there's a
But
lot of
they
people
will
in that
tell
group.
you where to go if they don't know the answer.
Yeah, they'll be able to help you best of their ability.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Well, the main problem I have is if I put Snow Leopard on my HP, is I'm not worried about the big screen thing. I just, the main problem is browser compatibility is the main problem I'm worried about. Because
Hackintosh, yeah.
yeah, well, even if it was a legit Mac, Snow Leopard is so old that the browser market might be a little bit
Yeah, you're
scarce.
pretty much going to be stuck on probably like Netscape type thing or Safari.
Or an old Firefox clone.
Yeah, something like that. And then you basically, you don't really want to get on internet much on those devices anyway. But
Well, all I would use it for is like maybe OG Mac games, something like that,
yeah, and then you can go to Frog Find and look things up through Frog. It's
Yeah, all I would do is go to like Macintosh Garden, down like an old copy of KOTOR
Yeah,
or something,
Rudy just chimed in. He said on Dave's stream, everyone is welcome, no matter what you
Oh,
use.
awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank
They-
you, Rudy.
They let me be a part of it, and I don't even run any Macintosh OS.
You
I'm
don't
like, I
even
don't
run
know-
any Mac stuff.
No. And what was that
So-
thing you built on stream, Nate?
I built a MSI 8080
See?
replica.
All right.
And I
Well,
go in there. I
yeah,
don't build anything. I don't do anything. I just join the community one time. I hang out there. I listen to. I read off
Yeah.
chat while people are working
Yeah.
on the computers. And
Well,
That's about
I
it.
will definitely jump in tomorrow, hang out, and if I need to ask anything, you guys will know.
I think
Well,
it's
hopefully.
awesome.
What were you
That
gonna
would
say,
really
Jason?
be useful because I'm using the 2015 MacBook Pro. So it'd be nice, to kind of
Everybody's
be a little
welcome.
more. Yeah, I like that.
All right.
yeah,
Well, I will definitely be there at
And-
11 a.m. and I'll hang out with you guys
Yeah.
and see
The
what
link
happens.
to it.
let
It's
me see if
definitely
I
a great
can
group of
grab that
people.
link. Let me go
And
here
Jason,
to
I actually still
YouTube.
have a scratched as heck copy of Snow Leopard upstairs that doesn't even work anymore. And this is gonna be funny. I actually have a Core 2 quad PC sitting up there, and sadly, it's old. It's optical drive busted, so I'm using this USB optical drive that I'm gonna put a copy of Leopard on there and see how the heck I go on with that.
One question, actually, to sort of bridge the Linux to Mac.
Bridge the gap, yeah.
What about using a Proxmox server? How old of a version of Mac do you think you could get away with on something like?
Oh God. Well, actually, that
And it
brings
would be a little more secure too, because you can.
Yes, that's a valid point,
sandbox it.
Jesse. That has been something I have been considering looking at is, for example, on my AMD laptop over here, as well as on this machine, I've been considering doing a Hackintosh Proxmox. I've never done it, but, that is something I have maybe considered,
Yeah, the link to Dave's channel, YouTube channel, is in
in
the
the
YouTube
chat.
chat, and he does everything. I think he now streams both on Twitch and YouTube, but he primarily goes off of YouTube.
All right.
So
Yeah. Well, I will definitely look at the Hack Proxmox thing, but yeah.
yeah, the Proxmox thing that I've never used Proxmox myself. So
I
can't
haven't
answer-
either, but I have
can't answer
considered
that.
it because this is an 11th gen I'm talking to you guys on, and we all know how much of a hectic process that would be. So I've tested it; it's not optimal. So I might consider that.
Well, Proxmox just uses KVM ultimately for virtualizations. Anything
Yeah.
that uses KVM.
Yeah. So anything
can
that
use it,
runs,
so.
because I know there's an OS 10 KVM thing out there, and I'm actually tempted to try it. So because
Really?
this is something I might be interested.
That might
in.
be fun to do. Maybe on the stream tomorrow, I'll take some time and play with more
Mac
modern-
OS Proxmox.
Yeah, where's KVM?
That would be cool, yeah. And if you get it working, Nate, that would be kind of interesting to see.
Oh, it's always, and yeah, the things that these people can do on this channel, the Vintage Apple Tech channel, the way they take an old to say, just Nate's getting an SE. Are you getting an SE? What are you getting? There?
I think it's an
Old-
SE or maybe it's a 512. I don't know. It's something older.
Yeah, older,
Mhm.
but basically what they do is they take
know,
those
I even
boards and
had
they
at
bring them
one-
back to life if
no.
they don't work.
Hold on. And actually, at an old temp job I used to have, Jason, my boss actually gave me a Power Mac G5, I think it was. It didn't last very long because of how loud the sucker was. But
Yes,
You
they are
know,
loud.
but it was a fun machine to screw around with for a while.
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, this little sucker here was loud as well until I put when I had a Mac OS on it, I put Linux on it and I was able to control the fans better.
Ah, cool. Well, anyway, let's get
It is
on
a
with the
fun
show
stream.
because I don't want to drag on about Mac OS too
Oh,
long.
except Trina and Nate.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a tech podcast, but I don't want to dwell on too gosh darn long.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We got about an hour to go.
Yeah.
So I have this is just kind of spitballing here, but does anybody incorporate like nonsensical like RGB stuff into things that really don't belong, just for fun?
No.
So apparently Jesse does, but apparently I think it's just R. Is there any G or B in that those glasses?
Oh yeah, it does the whole.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it does the whole. Yeah,
Fantastic.
I gotta take them off. I'm starting to get a headache.
Okay.
But
Yeah, the only unicorn.
yeah,
bomb I have
RGB
is-
makes everything 10 times more stable and faster.
That's
Everybody
The
true.
knows.
only piece of RGB I have in my systems is the AMD stock fan.
I don't like, so I just I've been doing some I'm trying to make my home a little bit more, I don't know how to say it, like
Colorful.
less hand-me-down furniture, I guess. Like, getting some new furniture here and there, nothing crazy.
Mhm.
And so I haven't had like a real bed frame basically ever. And so I got one with like built-in RGB and plugs so you can like charge your things at night and everything else on the headboard. And I just got it assembled today. And right now it's not screen right now. But like it has, a remote, and there's like a Bluetooth thing for it as well. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how is this really like necessary? Do I really need these things? And then I think about it, I'm like, yes, I do. But then this is not very adult of me, is it? This is very
Well,
childish.
see, need is a very
Are you
strong
kidding?
word.
You're using adult money to do what you want. That's as adult as it gets.
Oh, wait, you can actually kind of see it behind me as I'm changing the colors. Red, blue. Yeah. Anyway,
It's
just kind of fun.
too.
Anyway, there's no real purpose for it, and I just thought it was kind of fun. Like I have in my kitchen, I have now these are controlled with an ESP, I think 8266, but I have like lights that are all controllable, so I can actually do effects and everything else as well above and below my cabinets, because I can, and I have it tied with my home assistant, so I can configure set them remotely or whatever I want, or automations. I have no automations right now on them. But anyway, and I just like, does anybody here like to just throw color where maybe color doesn't belong?
Not me, sorry.
Okay. What you, Jinder?
One
Are you,
useful. Sorry.
No, sorry guys, I'm not the type.
okay.
Like these lights that you see, like my lamps, they have the smart bulbs, so I have the ability to do all kinds of crazy colors and stuff. Hey, look at me, it's so boring. I leave it on plain old light.
I kind of want to look. I was looking at some different can lights. Like I would like to replace all the can lights in the house with like RGB lights as well. And I was looking at some like at Ace Hardware, and they use I can't remember the name of the actual brand, but basically uses Tuya, Tuya, as the protocol. Basically, they're all Tuya systems.
Yeah, all my stuff is I use the Govee lights.
Okay.
And they're Bluetooth, so they connect right to my iPad through Bluetooth. I control them through my iPad.
So I don't know. I think it'd be fun to be able to like tell my home assistant to go to red alert and have all the lights, flash red and stuff like that. And...
I got to jump in here. Do you have an Amazon Alexa device?
I do. It's in a drawer. It freaks
Alexa
me out.
understands how to go to red alert.
Really?
Yes.
What did you do, Jesse? What kind of ideas did you just give Nate?
So Alexa understands the command to go to red alert and will do I believe it's the TNG siren along with it.
The klaxon, yeah.
And additionally, unrelated to that, RGB part. You can ask her where various members of the crew are, and she'll tell you that they're not aboard the Enterprise.
No, that's pretty
Oh
cool.
boy.
Uh,
Incoming alert behind Nate.
but about RGB in places you wouldn't expect, you can actually get temperature sensing faucet aerators. And when the water is hot, it will turn red, and when the water is cold, it will turn blue. So if you have kids or people who don't pay attention to the water and burn themselves like me, it's actually somewhat useful.
Oh, that is useful. Well, golly, I
There's
think
too
I might.
much out there.
I think I might have to, because I know there's a Home Assistant interconnect for, yeah,
Which one's the dirty towels?
on the right.
All the way?
Hello, person.
That's my daughter. She's a good people. Anyway, so there's a home. You can interconnect. I know Amazon with Home Assistant, so I could then create a tie-in for that particular automation. That wouldn't be a problem.
You could probably get your LEDs to go red if you told it to go to red alert.
Yeah, well, I already have
goodness.
I already have a red alert scene, so it actually I have to just kick that, and then they'll flash.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's okay. That's on my things to do. I'm going to
oh boy.
dig out an Alexa and see if I can make that happen. Just for that reason. Yes, Sean.
There used to be people hacking their 3D printers with RGB, and the things that they would use the RGB for was to like indicate if the hot end was hot or it was cooling down or things like that. That they would change the color depending on certain conditions.
That's really practical, though.
Which was really cool, but it kind of died out. I haven't run across anyone who's been doing that lately. So,
using something like Octoprint, I think, and then using that as the
because you need a main board that has some extra pins to control this, or possibly hooking it into your Raspberry Pi and then controlling that through Octoprint based on the feedback that it gets from the printer.
Yeah, I'm sure there's got to be a plug in there somewhere.
Yeah,
I would dig into the Octoprint right now if it were on, but it's off, so can't do that. That's a really good idea.
But yeah, it's not an unuseful thing, but it's something that not a whole lot of people did. So,
well, it's actually in industrial manufacturing they have those light stacks where they have different that represent different conditions. Yeah. It's no different than that, really.
Yeah.
There's an actual practical function for that. That's actually a really good idea. Sean, you're always making the old noggin crank away here.
I try.
So Anna Rita says, I want to have the red alert audio clip from Star Trek when I have an error message, but that would be complicated to do so. No, it wouldn't, Anna. If you send me an email, you can send to a suggestion, or you can send to nate@linuxsaloon.com and say, hey, how can I get that sound effect? I can send that to you. I have all Star Trek sound effects, although I will say the new Plasma 6 does have some better sound effects, so I've not changed them all Star Trek anymore because they're already kind of Star Trek-y. So I will gladly send that to you, what I have, and I've actually put together my own audio sequences as well, so you can enjoy those. So just send me an email, nate@linuxsaloon.com, and unless you don't want me to have your email, then I can understand that. I'll put you on a mailing list for I don't know, something. I'll find something. I'm kidding. I won't do that.
Does Plasma 6 still have the burn my windows type effects that are the two transporters? I think there's the blue version and the yellow version.
I haven't checked that. I just have them fade out. I do use wobbly windows though because they're fun.
Oh, you gotta.
I like wobbly windows.
Mm-hmm. Ben and I will get into that in a little bit.
Wobbly windows?
Mm-hmm.
Good things to come from the StormOS team.
Okay.
Nate. You will have a bit of a lengthy explanation as to why coming up very shortly.
Probably in about 20 minutes.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys.
No, no worries, Nate. No worries.
Don't worry about it. I know who you're talking about.
Yes, yes.
That guy
Nate.
that's talking and stuff. There you go.
My words are stumbling. It's been a long day.
GG.
Long week, whatever you call
It's all good. It doesn't make me
it.
sad or
On
anything.
top of school and distro stuff and game stuff. Jeez. It's just life has been kind of.
I can understand that. It's
Red
one of
knows
those things.
firsthand how many projects I've been tackling over the past few days.
So, speaking of Plasma, since we just kind of touched on it for just a moment, does anybody here run Plasma?
Nope.
In a manner of speaking.
Well, what does that mean?
You can combine Kwin with XFC or other DEs. So that's what I do. I like mixing it with.
We like to mix and match, Nate.
I like it. It's kind of like Linux a la carte. Is that what you're saying?
Linux.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Right. That's actually why I like Linux. It's very a la carte. You can pick and choose your pieces.
A la carte's a good piece of Linux too. I love it.
Especially if you make your own setup from scratch.
Yes.
Or your own distro, like some people I know.
So Daniel says he runs Plasma.
Okay, so Daniel,
I'm guessing Francois might. He's raising his hand. I guess that's what that
Francois.
means.
Yep. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and share this because I'm kind of excited about it. So I run Plasma pretty much. I Plasma all the things. Sometimes, like on older machines, I'll run like XFCE or LXQt if they just don't quite have the muscle to do it. But there's Plasma 6.2's had a soft feature freeze. It's now in effect. I'm not sure if you heard about this. So from Adventures in Linux and KDE this week in Plasma. Looks like they have 6 weeks of heavy bug fixing before the final release in October. So that's going on right now. So bugs basically take priority, but there's some notable new features though that I think are pretty exciting. So it's now possible to block apps from inhibiting sleep and screen locking. So if let's say you don't want an application to block the screen sleep and whatnot, you can actually now set that, which I think is really cool. That I think is actually a valuable new thing for sure. So the newly installed Plasma widgets are now shown in the top of the grid and a badge with new for 1 hour, so it's easy for you to find them right after installing them. So that makes it easier if you add something, you're not sure where it went, where you added it, like if you're trying to search for it or whatever, going through your installed widgets, it's now going to be at the top with a little new badge, for an hour afterward. And then also, while choosing a custom image for user avatar and system settings, on the user page, you can now crop the image if needed. So if you have like a big image and you want to crop it down to something smaller, that's something new. And then also they added support for 7-day weather forecasts and chance of precipitation as well. So now they have a new weather app essentially. So that looks pretty cool. And so also Discover Now gently guides you in the direction of writing better reviews on non-proprietary apps, which that's also pretty cool too. They've also done some other UI improvements as well. And then some additions with accessibility and whatnot. So you can actually check the whole thing out if you want to. But it's a lot of good fixes. I will say, for a while I was having trouble with Plasma. Every time I would dock or undock, something would crash, and I'd get like a crash alert. And every time I'd fill out what I did. Every time there's a bug, every time something would crash, like that I'd fill out, this is what I did, this is what I did. And for like the last 2 or 3 weeks, I haven't had to do it at all. So hopefully that was useful to somebody. But anyway, actually Plasma 6.1 is really shaped up pretty nice for me. So if you haven't tried Plasma in a while, I would highly recommend it if that's your thing. So anyway, good times. Do not throw tomatoes now. What does Anna mean? Throw tomatoes?
Oh, when you were talking about plasma, I think Anna was encouraging people not to start throwing tomatoes.
Oh,
I think it's
okay.
because she mentioned XFCE. She said it rocked, and this says do not throw tomatoes.
Oh,
Oh, I
okay. Yeah,
see.
I missed that.
Yes. Then Jesse, he says, you said that
Yeah, then they got
tomatoes
a discussion.
are for sauce, not for throwing. That's absolutely true. So I made a stir fry yesterday, and I put tomatoes in it, and I loved it. Tomatoes, and I put pineapple too.
I love
actually
tomatoes.
really
Pretty much
nice.
everything.
Yeah.
We're cooking Spanish chicken and rice on our end here. Yellow saffron rice.
Saffron, yep.
Yeah, and some chicken with some peppers and other stuff and onions.
Some of the best
That's
chicken I
fantastic.
had was from a friend of mine when I was in college. Her mother came to town, and they're all from Nigeria. And so she came in. I mean, when I say she came in town, she flew from Nigeria. So I had the only person around that had the truck, so I drove them around, like got them helped them get groceries and stuff. So she cooked me authentic Nigerian food.
Ooh.
And when I say I was blown away by the flavor.
Yeah.
This is the first time I ever had plantains too. So
Oh wow.
I was
plantains are
I mean, you've been missing out.
Yep. I was missing out on a lot of stuff. Apparently the flavor of that stuff, I was like, Mom, you can come visit anytime. I'll drive you around, buy all the groceries for you and stuff too.
So do you know what spices she used? It's a lot of times just a different combination of spices what makes a different
She wouldn't tell
foods.
me. She wouldn't tell me. I said, what are you putting in? Nope. Family recipe.
That's
all
messy.
right. I don't care. Feed
Just
me.
I don't know the quantities. I just don't know
We'll take it to
what.
our laboratory. We'll decipher.
Yeah, exactly. Let's break it down.
We'll break it down. We'll just need one sample.
And then I had Honduran food.
Oh yeah, they're
from another
pretty good.
friend. Oh, talk about pull off the bone chicken.
Yeah.
Or fall off the bone. Not
Super
pull off the
steam.
bone. Fall off the bone.
There was a Peruvian restaurant like that in Patterson, New Jersey. That was the same way. It would line up for lunchtime from outside, a little bit of outside, and it was basically chicken off the bone with some salad. How they did the salad, they added salt and sugar, and a little bit of dressing with something else. That added that super flavor, and plus there was that they always gave you with that Peruvian Coca-Cola, which is not good for me. Yep. You know what I'm talking about, right, Swift? Peruvian Coca-Cola. It's like a Peruvian Inca Cola. Inca Cola, that's what it's called. Yeah.
Oh, the champagne flavor they call it, I think.
Is that the champagne flavor?
It's like a yellow or orangish color.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We know over here in Florida, we have the Bravo or Fresco, and we can get them from there. I'm not sure if the Winn-Dixie or Publix has them. I'm not sure.
Fellow Floridian. There we go.
Yeah.
Yep. I do love me some public shopping.
I've been wanting to try that Peruvian stuff again.
Hey, kitty.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
we found out my daughter, she's gluten intolerant, so I have to like change what we're doing. So I'm like, well, stir fry and rice it is. And one thing I like to do when I make rice, and I just whatever rice, I probably should like explore a little bit more with rice, but I like to take butter and garlic, and then as soon as the garlic starts to becomes fragrant, you know what I mean, like that moment, then I throw in the rice. Now I put a lot of butter in there. I throw in the rice, and then I kind of cook the rice.
It makes it oily and stuff like that. Makes it very separated.
Yeah.
So,
and then to do that, stir that in there for a little while, and
gotta keep them separated.
Anyway, and then I throw in the water, and so I think I like the result from that. And then I've been like experimenting with different like spices and seasonings and whatnot, just kind of based on whatever I like.
What
see on
about
YouTube
a
or
lime cilantro mixture? When the next time you do it, try one lime cilantro mixture with rice. I tried it as part of Uncle Ben's. The smell was wonderful. I said, but they use a lime cilantro. It was like a mixture.
Yeah, one of those 90-second Uncle Ben packets. I tried one of those, the cilantro lime. It's pretty good. I still prefer the good old rice cooker myself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to do that next time, Seeker. I'm going to get I've got some cilantro. I don't usually have cilantro. I always have lime. I'm kind of one of those forgive me, but I do keep like a little, squeezy bottle of it because I don't.
Try, well, like my mother used to do something, and I'm saying it out loud because a friend of mine can remember this. Carlos is here, by the way, a friend of the family, my brother and my cousin, brother cousin.
It's good to have family over.
Yeah. And he remembers when mom would make invisible meat rice. How she did it? Spam. Well, she was making the rice, she'd add and break up the spam. And the thing, after cooking, the meat from that spam would settle in all around the rice. So it's kind of like you're having some portion of meat, but not really. But it was still kind of fulfilling,
Yeah.
Yep.
I got you.
Oh,
Or chorizos,
yeah.
which they sell in Winn-Dixie and a few other places, spice it up.
Yep. Yeah, I've had many chorizo, egg, and potato breakfast tacos. Got the chorizo from Publix.
I have to get some corn tortillas, I think.
Swift is writing all this information down. It's like, I'm writing the recipes down. I'm going to make some food. Right, Swift?
Well, I got to start, somewhat.
Yeah.
One thing at a time. I'm kind of stuck in the lime cilantro rice, and that might be fun.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, should I still do the butter thing ahead of time, or should I just do it just straight water in the rice? You think?
Oh no, I would add everything else and then cut up the cilantros, and of course you get the yellow lime. Is that which one is the green one? Is that the lemon?
That's
or is that
green as the lime.
Green is the lime. Okay, get some of those and just pour it around as you're mixing it and cooking it by your hand. Or do the spoon method. You know what I mean? If it's cut into half, spoon it out, get all the juices out.
Or I'll just use the little squeeze bottle that I have.
Oh yeah, that's
real easy.
Yeah, he just buys the juice.
Save a step. I know I can do better than that, but I'm not.
You
that
can do
good.
fresher than that.
I'm not as good as you are. That's what it boils down to, and I'm okay with that. I've accepted that.
Oh goodness, Tech Show has now become a cooking show.
Well, okay, so now here's the thing. It does require technology to be able to cook food. So you either have electric range or gas range. There's a lot of technology that goes into that. So when I say
some of them nowadays are smart devices.
It is, and open source. So that actually falls all together.
Yep. Yeah.
And then the recipes are open source.
Smart stove.
I don't have a smart stove, and I'm gonna keep it that way. I don't want a computer to have control over my gas.
You don't want your stove to have your fridge that you have burnt the food and you need to order some more.
Just press here. We'll have it delivered to your house immediately.
Yep, I don't want that.
What's that? You burnt the food? Here's DoorDash for you, Doc.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't even get me started on DoorDash and McDonald's. That's just horrible.
McDonald's. McDonald's. Yuck.
I'm probably gonna
DoorDash and McDonald's.
See, I kind of like McDonald's.
Yeah, me too. I did at one point, but
don't unsubscribe, please. But I kind of like it.
I mean, it's just a bacon, egg, and bacon sauce, not bacon, egg, sausage, and cheese muffin, McMuffin.
When COVID started.
Oh.
I have the app on my phone, which is great because what I can do is I can order it and then drive to it, and then it's already ready for me. So I don't have to go to the drive-through. I just park, grab it, go. No waiting in the drive-through. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan.
I was a fan of the sausage McGriddles, but when the price of it was it's just too much for a small little thing with basically a pancake, 2 pancakes, and some sausage in the middle. It's like what, 3 something? I don't know if it's up more now.
I have no idea. I haven't had it in so long.
Yeah, I know it's horrible. I mean, on the digestive system, it's horrible.
Here's the youngest. There's the youngster.
There we go. My youngster's over here playing with some kind of cap on the floor.
And I just turned on the laptop, so he's about to walk across it. Yeah. Go figure.
Do you have to set out machines for them to walk on so they don't walk on your the one you're using?
No.
That seems like
I mean, I could probably try to do that, but they hone in to whatever one I'm using. Doesn't matter. Whatever keyboard. I have a keyboard, my G915 keyboard here, the Logitech clicky one. Then I have a keyboard here, keyboard there, keyboard down there, and they will still, even with all these other keyboards they can lay on, they'll come right to the one I'm using. Because cats.
That's wild.
Your scent is on it, and you're actively moving.
Yeah.
Because cats are the type, you know, they can be independent, but when they want your attention, they'll demand it.
You know, they'll block you
And,
from doing whatever you're doing, especially if you're reading a book or working on a keyboard.
So speaking of cats and tech, I have a litter robot. Have you seen those?
No?
So it's like this drum-looking thing. So your cat goes in there, does its business. When it walks out, it can sense when the cat leaves. It waits a little bit, and then it rotates the drum, and then back. So everything's cleared out, and it puts all the poo, you know, your cat
All the
nuggets
waste
in the tray. And so now I don't have to do any sort of turd mining anymore. It's all done for me automatically.
Turd mining.
And I just take the tray, I dump it.
Yeah, see, I the only problem is with that is, you know, 11 cats. Having 11 cats, yeah.
So they're expensive. They're like $300 a pop, but I would gladly buy them again just so I don't have to be a turd miner.
Yeah. Okay, for that, yeah.
Tricky to convince them to use them. I've had some too when I was a cat owner, and sometimes the cats are a little suspicious of the device, both from the motion and the noise. But once you get them to use it, it's night and day difference.
Yeah. I'm good with the
honestly,
spending
Jesse,
my first hour of my day doing scoop the poop duty. That's good.
honestly, Jesse, if you walked into a bathroom and things are rotating and moving around, wouldn't that freak you out too?
It wouldn't be my first time, and that's all I can say.
That's called sitting in an outhouse and somebody knocking it over on you. Or not outhouse, porta potty.
I've been to, you know, a few Philly dive bars, and sometimes it feels like that. Thank you.
Well, look at that cat.
Yeah, he's running on my
fun.
laptop.
Well, I think when cats do that slow blink, I don't know. I really like the slow blink that they do.
We call that around here we call that happy cat eyes.
Yeah, I always think it's like annoyed cat.
No, it's usually for us it's happy cat.
Oh, okay.
No, it's only with the ears are back. That's the annoyed eye.
Oh. Well, cool.
I guess it could also be that they're plotting something at that point against you.
Well, they're cats.
But
that's always happening.
I know.
Don't
I was just gonna say, but that's usually the case.
So, Jesse?
Don't the cats think that they're in charge of us, that they've domesticated us?
Cat. That's Nate's cat. But see, the thing about cats is cats don't have owners. They have servants. You know, the saying goes, you feed a dog, the dog says, you fed me, you must be a god. The cat says, you feed a cat, the cat says, you fed me, oh, I must be a god.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yep. Cats are definitely different in the way that they view their people than dogs are.
If you just spend some time on the internet, you'll realize how much cats control the world.
Oh yeah. Hey,
It's true.
I have 11 of them in one house. I know how they control my world.
That's just too many.
It's like with the dog, who walks who? Well,
Yeah.
That's a good point. I have goats that I walk occasionally.
okay.
Like on the street?
Well, I live in the
He's
country,
middle
so
of nowhere.
no, yeah,
Down the path, so to speak.
so to speak, yeah.
Just wherever, just around the property. All right, so that's updated, so let's go and turn it off, Kitty.
Oh, so some other maybe exciting news. Does anybody hear self-host like photos and video backup solution?
Self-host? No.
No. All right, so there is a thing called, I think it's called, I'm not sure. I mean, like everything else in Linux, you're not really sure how to pronounce it. It's an Immich, I guess, or Immich. I don't know, maybe it's German.
Not
So they-
Imager.
Well, there's that too, but that's not what this is.
Yeah, it's Immich.
Anyway, it is a self-hosted like video photo thing. So like instead of using Google stuff, you could use this instead. So their latest update brings a slew of new, highly anticipated features. So a crucial advisory for OAuth users that are required to change the redirect URI setting. But it does do, it can utilize a storage template migration feature when uploading assets to ensure optimal functionality. I don't know if anybody's even looking for that. So it's this feature is currently available on the web interface. So with mobile support, which is pretty cool. So it also introduces hierarchical tags to improve the asset organization. It reads existing tags directly from the tag list and keywords properties and writes any changes to a sidecar file. So the web timeline component has been completely rewritten to handle large volumes of assets more efficiently. This change is a boon for professional photographers who may capture hundreds of images daily. The improved timeline support, smoother scrolling, and fewer loading placeholders, ensuring a seamless browsing experience. So also they did some library stability improvements as well. So so it's something, I don't know if you guys like self-host stuff and whatnot, but that might be if you're into that, if you have like a home lab, that might be a fun thing to do if you want to check that out. So
What's the name of it? Can you post it on the
Immich.
The YouTube chat.
It's also in the I posted it on the stream as well, but yeah, I can put it in I can put it in here as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't know if anybody I mean, for me, I think one of the fun things is being able to do some of these things on your own.
Immich.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it Immich? Maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. It makes me think of Do-Best.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have it for Arch by now.
Help, like Anna, I just back up my stuff to hard drives and I'm good. I don't host anything anywhere.
So there's a Docker. So if you have like a server at home, you can in your home lab you can use the Docker.
Yeah, my server's over there, but it's just for me to back up stuff to. It's just a file server. Upstairs we have the Plex server.
Yeah, you could probably also, I suppose, you could probably like combining that with like Tailscale. You could have like your own thing where this is all done automatically for you. I use SyncThing to back up my photos, and that works pretty well. And we have a cruise.
I use drag and drop to back up.
Hey, Nate.
Hey, Cruz.
Nice for you to join us, Cruz.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the more automation I can put in my tech, really, ultimately, the better. I find that it just works out best for me.
Is it really a backup if there's an offsite? Well, yeah. I have backups for my backups for backups. I have cloud backups. I learned the hard way about the backup to backups, after a house fire. And our main server melted.
Ooh.
So we basically, lost all our stuff. So I learned I've got the file server that's down there. Then I have the important stuff up in the cloud, and then I have a hard drive that is a external hard drive that is offsite. It's in a storage unit. After the house fire, we had a storage unit because we had so much stuff that we had to store off while they rebuilt, and we never actually brought it all back over yet because we ran out of space because we bought more stuff. So most of it's my brother's gun stuff, but
yeah, it's available in the Yay repository and in the Cache repositories.
So I have
Go.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Hmm?
I'm sorry. What were you saying before I so rudely interrupted?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it, mate. No, Immich.
No,
It's
before I interrupted you.
Oh, you didn't know them. It's available in Yay and in the CacheOS repository. You know, they
Okay.
usually host their own stuff too. So yeah.
Does anybody here run run many VMs, like virtual machines? You do?
No, that's one of the reasons why you see back here of all these different systems. I like to run everything on real hardware personally. I don't do any, that much. I don't really do any
I had to,
visualizations or anything.
I tested a lot of different VMs when I was building up the auto checker and installer for the programs that I've done. So
Yeah. Well, you have a practical reason for using VMs and virtualization and stuff. Me, I'm
Yeah.
just a tinkerer. I
yeah,
don't,
no,
you know.
same here. Mine is just program stuff, you know, just to test it out on the door and all.
The reason I ask is what is your backup strategy for VMs? Do you have can you pull like incremental backups? Do you have like a self-host, like a self-hosted like system for that? Do you even do that? Does anybody do that? Like back up their VM somehow? Like do snapshots?
No, you know, I have never done that too much. I just I should, but I don't.
You know, when I first got it started in Linux, I was you know, way back in the day there, I didn't have all the hardware that I have now. So I did a lot of VMs. I did do a lot of VMs. I ran but I never backed any of them up because if they broke, if anything happened to them, we just rebuilt them. And and I didn't really put anything important, so quote unquote, on a virtual machine.
Okay.
There's virtual machines is just for me anyway, and my purposes for using them were just for testing out the distro. Like that's how I tested on Mint before I installed it on real hardware to see if I wanted to install it on real hardware. And then I decided after that, doing that for a while, I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna put it on real hardware and play with it there, because I had the access to. My brother got into the hobby of building computers, so I got in the hobby of stealing all his builds.
I like that.
Yep.
I wish I had a brother like that.
Well, we have a room upstairs. I think he's got another 10 computers upstairs that he's not using. I can go steal if I wanted to, but I don't have the room. Yeah, he's got an expensive hobby.
So Barry Compton in the chat says snapshots and full backups are available locally and corporately. And so I wonder, like, is there a good way to, like, maybe if you have the backup space and you're running VMs like for different functions or whatever, to take snapshots of those incremental snapshots and then send them to another device, and then maybe even then push those then up to like a Backblaze or something like that, just in case something blows up on you. Like if you're running VMs or whatnot. I wasn't sure if anybody here did things like that.
10 computers, who needs that many? Nobody.
Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of those things like define need.
Yes. 10 computers. Who needs that? Yes.
No.
I mean, 90% of what's in this room is old stuff. You know, we're talking like 2015. That's, you know, quote unquote old, down to to earlier eras. I mean, the main machine that I'm on now, and this machine is still. I mean, it's not brand new. It's, you know, gosh, I got to be a good 8 years old now. But it meets my needs. Lets me play World of Warcraft.
A little more need than that, I guess.
Let's see, how old is this computer?
All right. Well, hey, that was a fun open mic night. Appreciate everybody, your participation and discussion. It's fun. So next week we're going to do a news flight night. Normally I do like applications, but I'm going to skip that next week because of just things that are going on this week. So if you have any news topics, there's a lot in the Telegram. So news articles and open source and tech topics. That's where I pull a lot of the stuff from. So if you want to check that out. So there's some neat stuff in there already, like Wayland Protocol 1.37. It's introduces some new protocols, and there's a core fix that lands for AMD ahead of Linux 6.11. That'd be fun to talk about. So anyway, but if you have any suggestions for news articles or topics or anything, you can send them to suggestions@linuxsaloon.com, and I can read them off or be part of the discussion. Also, if you have any distro suggestions or application appetizer suggestions, some poll ideas, feel free to send them in the Linux Saloon Discord, Telegram, or you can send them to suggestions@linuxsaloon.com. Be more than happy to make that a part of the show, so you can drive the direction of the show, or whatever you want to call this. Is it a show? I don't know if it's a show. It's a thing. Discussion, stream. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
This thing that we're on, that we do things and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it today.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we're going to have our community free pour. So we have, I know Ben is like, oh, about time. Stop talking about stuff.
No, Nate, I wasn't. I was just. No, Nate, I'm not that kind of wacko. Don't worry.
No, you can be. That's fine. That doesn't offend me. I don't get offended.
No, it's just, I have other things I have to do tonight. That's all. So I just, I want to get on with it.
Sure, I got you. All right. So now we've got like an even three. You're all three developers or three.
We have 3 departments of Linux to talk about. Yes.
3. Yes. Okay. So we have.
But we'll try and keep them within reason, so that way we don't go overtime and all.
So the question is, which is the toy department?
I'll let my teammates answer that one.
Because I was like, if you got Legos or
okay, well, since Jesse is the new guy to the group, we'll let him go first, and then Red and I will go after that. So I'll let Jesse, since this was, Jesse's and I's co-op idea, I'll let, since he's been sort of co-oping with me on this and sort of guiding the project, I'll let him take the reins on this one.
Got it. However you want to slice it, that's totally cool.
Cool.
Yep. Take the reins, Jesse.
It's all you, Jesse.
All right. Well, no pressure there. So Ben and I, for the last 2 weeks, have started conceptualizing an Ubuntu Studio fork, mainly aimed at the folks that either can't afford the full Mac experience or don't like, the politics or anything that we don't have time to cover in this 5-second elevator pitch. And we're calling it Creative Storm Linux, aimed at the creative professional, but with a intentional Mac inspiration, but stopping short of a full-on copycat. So all of the Mac talk tonight was a lot of fun. I first got into Linux when I was doing outsourced tech support for Apple, and somebody turned me on to Gentoo, and it was over from there. But I always appreciated the more elegant experience, if you want to call it that. And that's a direction that we're trying to take with the interface and the experience. We're pulling in all the 2 packages by way of the installer, but we started with an XFCE build. Did Ben, do you have the screenshots handy?
Yes, I'll drop them in the Telegram for everyone to see. Just bear with me.
Cool. It's right now we're just doing a lot of spitballing. We're trying to figure out how we want the interface to feel and function, because there are so many distros that call themselves a distro and all they've done is a wallpaper, some icons, and a theme. And we're already forking a fork, so we want to make sure that it actually stands up to
the competition. Yeah.
So we're nowhere near a release or even official testing. It's definitely at the conception stage.
Right. And like he said, we want to make this good. We want to make it stand out, that sort of stuff. So, that's part of the reason we're not in alpha stage or beta or even anything like that.
We
So
haven't even finished picking our packages. We really,
nothing like that. We're taking our time on this one.
yeah, it's not a distro of the week. There's everybody's doing that.
No, and we don't want to end up that way because, we don't really have any official plans, any etc. Like I said, we're taking our time with this one, and that's how it's gonna go. So anyway, that's Jesse and I's pitch to this.
So I have a
now we're
question
gonna move
before
on
we
to
move before we move on. I do have a question. So
Sure.
you say kind of a Mac feel. What are you using, Pantheon or something like that as your desktop interface? Or are you doing like a customized
No.
No. I don't like that, and that goes so far into the older that it kind of misses the mark, at least for me.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm a diehard Kwin and Plasma person. Ben really likes XFCE, and a couple years, about a year or so ago, when I was still on the Linux Tube as one of the hosts, I think I had possibly introduced Ben to the idea of mixing Kwin,
XFC.
and it seems like it stuck, and it was one of the cornerstones of what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, because he sent me because he and I talked about it, and it was actually one of the ideas that I had for StormOS for a while. And he actually helped me finalize that idea because I wasn't even sure how the heck to make it happen. But Jesse helped me by sending a link on how to do it, and from within Endeavor's links actually.
Yeah.
That somebody wrote up. And so what we've done is we on my AMD laptop sitting next to me, and we will have a dark theme as well as aside from the light theme that I linked in the Telegram. What we're gonna do is he's doing the light mode and I'm doing the dark mode version. And we're gonna put those together in the final build later on and that sort of thing. But that's several months later. Don't worry about that right now. But anyway, again, so yeah, what we're doing is essentially we're combining Kwin and XFCE into the same desktop, and we've got a nice little script that runs that on boot up, and so that will be included, and so it'll be the best of both worlds: the lightweightness of XFCE with the fancy desktops and things, fancy desktop effects of KDE. So to speak.
Widgets do not work yet correctly. I tried running some widgets and they worked for a minute. Broke my
broke his install
session so badly that I had to clear my desktop file and start over. I didn't have to do a full reinstall, but I had to wipe all the desktop.
You had to get rid of a lot of stuff.
Stuff was stuck in the session that just wouldn't come out.
It happens.
Yep. But it's a lot of fun, and again, it's so much in its infancy right now, but it's fun to talk.
Yeah, like we said, guys, please do not expect anything right now to come around. It's just,
we need some pictures. Like
we have a concept picture for you, but that's where it's at. We're nowhere near anything to demo just yet. No.
Got it. Well, it's all good.
But anyway,
it's a process.
Yeah, it's a trivial process, and we're taking it in stride. So
yeah. It's awesome.
Anyway, on to what Red and I have to talk about. So Red, you want to introduce this next concept?
Which portion? Which one though?
Let's start with the Arch update, and then we'll go into the Gen 2 update.
All right. I built another program.
Yeah.
Basically a task manager. No, I'm sorry. Like a task scheduler. Command line for Arch.
Yes.
I built that one. That's a new program, and I wanted to run it by Ben, but I was testing it out. I was giving it to Fish. Our Fishman loves Linux,
He is a longtime YouTuber friend of ours, and kept up with him, off and on many occasions. And he's still a good friend and
Yep.
one of the many testers of our distro, and still a team member and all that. But he's not as frequent as he used to be for his own reasons.
And Ben, if you don't mind, link up on the StormOS, the new StormOS tag is going to be StormOS. A set of wallpapers that I had AI generate because it was actually really nice. If you
I
want,
haven't downloaded them all yet, but I will.
All right, just link what you got there. Whatever.
Whichever ones I got. Yeah. I will look into that. Really, yes.
And the new naming for it, I was thinking of StormOS the return, but I said we've been back for a little while, right? But I want to call it StormOS Vida, which in Spanish means
StormOS what now?
Vida.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Which basically is life in Spanish.
Yeah, StormOS Vida. Yeah.
Or living the life in StormOS.
Living the Vida Loca?
Yeah, kind of like a Vida Loca, but it's still,
Living La Vida. Oh, that was an old song from when I was a kid.
No, but living the life of StormOS or living the life of Magnus. That's another one.
Yeah. Do one small.
He's gonna upload a few of the pictures, some of the concept pictures I ran by.
Yeah, I'm dropping all the pictures he sent to me.
Oh, you are? Okay.
All right. I just dropped them in the Telegram chat.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to look at them for a moment? You can.
Yeah, if you guys want to take a look at them for a minute, yeah. Yeah. And yes, you're gonna see two of them are Gen 2 specific. We'll get into the story behind that here in a little bit. But
and while I was creating that, well, I mean, what else did we want to add to StormOS? We're changing a few of the.
We're changing, we are planning to have new themes that reflect these new wallpapers and icons, and we have a new revision to the Stormy web browser, that he wrote, and our general. That's funny, yeah, but yeah, we will be doing some package revisions, just general cleanup, Calamari's updates as usual, if there's any, which there probably is.
Yeah.
And just general maintenance, things like that.
If you do, just push it up and I'll rebuild it.
Push it up to date, and
yeah, and then
we'll
I'll rebuild
it. And
so
speaking of the builder app.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he actually made a GUI front end to the builder tool. So, it's a lot simpler and a lot faster now to build the ISOs. So
whatever changes he makes,
I just send to him, and then we build the ISO together, and
or you could build it or I could build it, but you have to be in StormOS.
So basically, we have that sort of thing.
Oh, and I fixed the problem that most people were seeing in the last version, or when you
had a keyring error.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't so much, the keyring error, but I fixed all those issues already.
Yes, he did.
Once basically it was just reinstall all the available packages.
And we had to do like the equivalent. We basically had to do the equivalent of an in-place upgrade, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And now for your news.
Yes. Okay. So down to the head honcho here.
Wait, okay. For what it's worth, just because I've been studying Latin, so the Vida, V-I-D-A, the Spanish word, comes directly from the Latin vita, V-I-T-A. So anyway, just for what it's worth. Not that it's that important, but anyway, I just thought it was
interesting. I imagine so, because it is Spanish and Latin, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, it's a romantic language.
Right. Yeah. Well, anyway, so
fire away, Ben. Sorry to derail you.
Right. So on to the Gen 2 side of things. So I think you guys know what this means with the wallpaper. Yes, folks, we're getting the Gen 2 version off the ground. Starting later tonight, I will be bringing to life the Gen 2 build of StormOS. And Red, you want to tell them the name of the distro?
All right, it was just a wacky idea. It was a Storm
Gen Z.
Storm Gen Z.
Yes.
For Generation Z.
Yep.
I got you.
And so, you know, this
Or
is
World War Z.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Yep. Yep. Kind of like that, you know.
Will it
And you know,
processes?
here's what's going to be the caveat about this version, everybody. This version is not going to be your typical Gen 2 installer. This is not going to be one where you have to go to the doggone terminal and build every nook and friggin' cranny. Okay? This is not going to be a typical, oh, I got to go to the command line and run a bunch of freaking commands. That's not how this is going to work. We are going to, but here's the caveat, guys. We are not going to have a GUI package front end. That's not how this is going to work. Okay. Unlike Octopi in StormOS Arch Edition, which we are still keeping around, don't worry. The Gen 2 edition, it's not gonna have Kuru, it's not gonna have Porthole, because those are long dead, and you know, that's not gonna be the case. You're gonna use Calamares to install us, okay? But here's the kicker: you will have to install packages that don't come on the ISO if you need it through the XFCE terminal, because you know, I have tried in the past with ideas like this to install packages with a GUI package manager on Gen 2 as of recently. It just doesn't work. So please, for the love of God, do not ask us on this team to add that to the Gen 2 edition. Because
And can you add this to the edition? No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry. But either way, you know, that's not gonna happen. So anyway, you know, check out the wallpapers and that sort of thing. So and yeah. So yeah, and like the Ubuntu edition, it is going to have Kwin and XFCE bundled together. That is sort of going to become, I guess, a trend now in StormOS, but no, we're not adding that to the Arch edition. That's not going to happen, because the Arch edition is having so many packages on top of it already. We're just not going to do that. But either way, guys, so yeah, keep an eye out for this Gen 2 edition. Red and I are probably going to start on that either tonight or tomorrow. And, you know, as soon as I get my backup updated, because, you know, my current backup of the entire system is like several months old. So, you know, I don't know how long it's going to take to update, but, you know, right now I still have to unpack it and make it, you know, up to date as it can get. So either way, I'll be working on that tonight, and we'll take it from there. So, but yeah, Red did all the artwork for the wallpapers, and we're gonna look at different themes and things like that. And,
Well, I kind of showed you
really cool.
what the conceptual idea for StormOS. I'm sorry, Nate. Go ahead.
Well, I say it's really cool. I don't know how you did that, but it's very impressive.
yes, but either way, yeah, we will be, and also, Nate, one last thing I want to bring up. I'm going to drop this link in the Telegram and the YouTube. My buddy Imalo and I wrote this Wiki Gen 2 link. I contributed to Gen 2. Applaud me if you wish, but have a look at my user page, because I did a write-up of my work in progress on the building of our Gen 2 ISO. So if you want to get some insider info, have you a look at that. And you know, so oh god, it's already 10 p.m. So yeah, I'll go ahead and conclude it there. And any questions, just let us know, and we won't take it from there. So
Well, fantastic. Well, thanks for the update.
no worries. And
nice.
Hopefully
thanks for bringing Jesse.
Right.
Jesse has been great, especially his glasses. And if
everybody, a warm welcome.
And if he can't be here next week, at least hopefully his glasses can be.
I'll get them in the mail post haste.
Oh no, that just Just you have to start your Zoom and just have the glasses there.
Oh, okay. Just
Like that. Yeah, that'd be great. So if you can't make
Well,
it,
Jesse, anytime you want to pop on, just hit me up and I'll send you the link.
Great.
That or you can join the Telegram group, one of the two.
Yeah.
I was installing Telegram as we speak.
You can
So-
also join
Awesome.
the
A
Well,
little secret, but it's the same Zoom link every week. I might change it someday.
The same Zoom link every week, so
Mhm.
no worries.
Yep.
But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jump out of here and get on that Gen 2 stuff. So I'll see you.
All
all.
right.
You too. Ben, call me on Discord. Jesse, join
I
us.
will after the show. Don't worry.
I know.
All right, see you.
Fantastic. Well, it is that time for last call. So I thank you all for being here. And this is the time where, like, if anybody has anything like, that they want to plug, let's feel free on that. So I do want to say, so Eric, he wasn't here this week, but he's on a podcast called Distro Hoppers I can't speak. Distro Hoppers Digest. Distro Heapers Digest. I don't know. Must have had a stroke.
Digest.
Yep. That thing. That he's
Yeah.
on.
So
Digest.
Distro Hoppers Digest. So he's I know the statuses of that, but you can check him out there. So it's distro-hoppersdigest.blogspot.com, and you can get the latest episode. Steve's very own, he was in the chat, but he didn't join us this time. It's been a while since Steve has joined us. I miss Steve. But he's got a live stream he does most Sunday mornings, pretty close to every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. Central. So you can check that out. Linux User Space, they are on they're on summer break right now, but season 5 is coming in September. September starts pretty soon, so hopefully we'll see an episode pretty quick. We didn't see he didn't join in the chat this time, but Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. It's a good time stream that you can be a part of on Sundays from.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He says it's 8 a.m. Pacific is when it kicks off, and it goes for 8 hours,
Yep.
so till 1600 or 4 p.m. Pacific.
It basically goes 11 a.m. Eastern to about 6 p.m. Eastern.
Well, there we go. I'm part of a podcast called Linux Out Loud. You can check that out. I had a fun chat with Matt and Wendy last week. So you can, my co-host there. So if you want to check us out, Linux Out Loud. We just have to talk about the projects we're on. I think Wendy's got robotics starting up. My kids are, or at least my oldest for sure, is going to be doing robotics. So starting next Saturday, he'll be part of a robotics team. And we kind of talked about that. And Matt tried to enable us with some hardware or software games or something like that. It's kind of how they go. And also, I have a website called cubiclenate.com. I write about things. I was supposed to publish something this week, but it didn't happen. So I just have to finish it, polish it. It's actually not all that exciting. It's about using cron jobs, because I had to write a cron job and I had to make sure I understood what I was doing. So it's just I've had to do a few of them, and I've had to search the webs for answers, and so I use cubiclenate.com just to answer my questions. But anyway, I know Jesse, what do you said you do things outside of StormOS, or you were, or is that I don't know if there's anything you wanted to plug.
It wasn't as much of a plug as, like, if people wanted to find me.
Okay.
My special interest is actually GY6 scooters and doing DoorDash on them.
Oh.
Sometimes I stream live while doing deliveries, and that's how I came up with the handle.
Oh, got it. I like it. So if you can share that link somewhere, that'd be pretty cool.
Sure.
Yeah, because that'd be neat, I think. And I don't know if Seeker has anything he wants to plug, or Jason. We'll see Jason tomorrow, maybe on Days Vintage Apple Tech.
There, I just did my plug in the YouTube chat just for
Yeah.
Days Vintage Apple Tech.
No, I was just, no, not really. Oh, you were talking about the cron jobs. I was basing the task scheduler off of cron jobs originally, but I found a way around them in Python. Use I think it's a package, I forget what it's called, but it's an import from that, and it bypasses the whole thing for cron jobs, and it's timed also.
Oh, that's very
Yeah.
cool.
We found a way around the cron jobs, but I actually was trying to figure it out too. So
Yeah, it was just a simple thing for it was a simple maintenance thing I had to have automate.
yeah,
So.
yeah, me too. I had automated. So
And then Sean, you'll see him behind his 3D printer doing 3D printing things. Actually, you won't see him. or 3D
See
printers.
that artwork that's right there.
Yeah. Maybe someday.
All right, guys. I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna go.
Meet up with
All
Ben
right.
and get things rolling.
Yeah, I gotta talk to Ben. Jesse, you want to join us later on, or?
I may. I have to get to work. I run the IT and multimedia department for my church tomorrow, and I'm behind on a project, so I might not.
All right. See you later,
So,
guys. Thanks for having me.
Linux Saloon is part of the Tux Digital Network, so check out more great shows at tuxdigital.com. I want to thank you all for your support, however you do it, being a part of the conversation, both the Zoom meeting and the YouTube stream, as well as for everyone watching the show after the fact. I want to thank everyone involved in making the Linux and open source tools possible for us to not only have this conversation, but also to have fun and enjoy our technology. Linux truly puts personal back in a personal computer. Thank you for stopping by. Be sure to tip your developers, and please remember to Linux responsibly. Until next time, see
Bye,
you.
guys.
Night all.